Great. Welcome back. It's now time for us to get into the political segment, being the beautiful Monday, 17th of November, 2025. Yes, as I said, a lot happened over the weekend and politics played center stage. That is where I want us to pick it from. Good morning and welcome to the program. My name is Victor Lo. Please follow me at Victor Lo at KBC Channel 1 and let's have a chat. Watu Mombasa, how was it over there? I know it was a busy weekend for you. Watu Mombasa, please talk to us and tell us how are things. All right, so my guests are already on set. I'll introduce them shortly. But let me start with the front page of the Daily Nation and just take you through what's in the paper here. The war within, that's on the front page of the Daily Nation. The war within, there you have it. The war within. The Daily Nation says that Winnie Odinga's hard tackle on Oburu Oginga during ODM Gala reveals family tensions. That is as per the Daily Nation. That Winnie's hard tackle on Oburu during ODM Gala reveals a family tension. Raila's daughter demands a national delegates convention to pick party leaders. That is what is on the front page of the Daily Nation. And let me quote what Winnie said, that the broad-based relationship is complicated. Those managing it now, are they capable? Because it's only one, Baba Raila Odinga, who could manage it. That is Winnie. And what did Oburu say? It's Raila who left us in the broad-based government. If it comes to 2027, who we shall look at the best person to talk with or go it alone. So it's, as per the Daily Nation, it's war within. So it's more of a dispute with the Ayala MP Winnie Odinga, the daughter of former Prime Minister Raila Odinga. On Saturday, questioned the competence of her uncle, Dr. Oburu Oginga, to lead ODM, even as she alleged a plot to quote-unquote sell the party, exposing simmering differences that could threaten the Orange Party's existence. All right, I'll come back to that later on. It's 7,000 ghost learners drain 1 billion shillings of public funds annually. Ghost learners. This is interesting. Okay, we no longer have ghost workers, we have ghost learners. Probably they are ghost schools, okay, registered with fake accounts and fake names. That is 87,000, that's a very big number. Flying confins, that old beat up police choppers are a disaster in waiting. I think we've seen a couple of videos going around where one of the police choppers, yet we need to confirm this. But yes, something has to be done about this. All right, so let me come back and introduce my guest, Professor Milo Mutisia, who is a development expert. He's also political commentator and educationist as well. Prof, good morning.
Good morning, Victor.
You're well?
Well, KBC.
Good to see you. You had guests in the Ukambani region.
We had the president there. It was
a very busy moment for you people.
4 days, actually.
4 days.
Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. And Saturday was one of the biggest. We had one of the biggest gathering in Kitui. You know, Kitui State Lodge. Yes. Where we gathered 12,000. You know, Kamba people, leaders, grassroots leaders, to have a conversation with the president, and it went up very well.
What was the agenda? What was the conversation?
The president had 3 items, actually. One was for the president to tell us where he has taken us from 2022 to where we are. Yes. What place the Kamba community have in this formation. Yes. And where he's taking us between now and 2027. And yeah, he enumerated his, the progress that he's made for this country, his agenda for the people of Kenya and for the people of Ukambani, the projects that he had committed in his better plan, the bottom-up economic transformation agenda, and the blueprints that he signed with the Ukambani people. And of course, Wednesday he was in Makueni, launched a number of projects, roads, bridges, housing, and a number of other projects. On Thursday, he was in Kitui, did the same thing. On Friday, he was in Machakos, he did the same thing. And on Saturday, we were in Kitui, closer to Kalonzo Musyoka's, home turf, where he caused the shot. That
must have been a bucket. You had a full basket full of goodies. I mean, Prof.
Well, some of the things that we did with the president then, projects that have stalled over the last 60 years. Like the key road networks that he launched, in Makueni, Machakos, and Kitui. The key roads are roads that we've talked about for the last 60 years. We use, politicians use these road networks, these, undone roads, to solicit for votes, committing to do something in 5 years. But then it has become a cycle. Okay. And we told him, because we are the leaders who developed the blueprints, economic blueprints for the region. We told him that it would be very difficult for us to even talk to the people in 2027 if these key projects are not done. And, in a meeting in August, he committed funds. He called the key ministries, the CSEs, and allocated funds to these key projects, which to us will be instrumental moving forward.
Thank you.
Of course, growing the economy of the region.
We'll get back to that because I really need to get to understand why new projects, and yet we have got old projects that need to be completed. All right, Sam Kimani, who is a public policy analyst, joining me after a very long time. Hey, Sam. Where did you go to?
I've been around.
Yeah, some good things happening out there, seemingly.
Tuko tu. Unajua sisi wa Kikuyu, we have a saying.
Yes.
If you ask us, we just tell you no kugeria mani. I'll teach you what that means later once we leave here. Simply, it loosely translates to, we are just in between there trying to fight our small battles. Okay,
the director says, what does that mean?
That is what I'm telling you. So if you ask me after we meet after long, I'll still tell you, tuko tu hapo tu.
Tuko tu? All right, ata si pia tuko tu hapo. Yeah, we'll be right back. Stay with us. So let me start with the front page of the Standard. Sam?
Yes.
Front page. Just give us the front page. What does it say?
Raila reincarnate. The daughter is there. Yeah, Winnie Odinga. I wouldn't have put it better.
Just give us the details.
Traditionally, a father is inherited by the son. But Odinga got the rare honor of being inherited by the daughter. So they are telling us that Winnie Odinga has burst onto the national stage, igniting a succession battle that could redefine, or fracture the Odinga political empire. Her fiery debate at ODM's 20th anniversary in Mombasa energized supporters and unsettled rivals, signaling her intent to shape a party already split by competing camps. With Raila gone, ODM faces its most volatile moment in decades, and an aging Oburu at the helm, rising functional tensions, and a bold new contender challenging the old order.
Yeah.
Winnie next moves could determine the party's future.
More details on that, please. Go ahead.
Now, this is what I think about Winnie Odinga. Winnie Odinga is a daughter who had the honor of walking side by side by his father.
Yes.
She knew his mind. Odinga, in his nature, liked to talk so much about that which is important to him, especially to people closer to him. That is why you hear everybody will tell you what Raila told them when they were together, because that was the nature of the man. The danger with that is that you can't tell who is lying and who is not. And I think that is why, out of wisdom, Sifuna told them, let us ignore what we all were told in private. Why can't we agree on what was said in public? Because it is difficult to harmonize that which was said in public to various people, and there was no witness. But then, if there is any person who can claim to know the heart of the father, it's the daughter. She walked with him. At one point, she decided to be the father's PA. Those who campaigned for Raila Odinga in 2022, I was in Azimio and I was part of the campaign. You couldn't have met a more fierce person than Winnie Odinga. She knew when the father was tired, and she could push you off. When the father was tired and she decided the father had to rest, that was it. You couldn't be allowed anywhere closer to Mzee to disturb him after Winnie decides Mzee should rest. So she knew Baba very well. when she fights, she's not fighting for the sake of it. She's fighting to preserve that which was dearest to her father, a behemoth he built for 20 years. The only party in Kenya that has that history. KANU may have lasted longer, but it is understandable why it did. But since the inception of multi-party politics in Kenya, we can talk of Raila Odinga's party as the only party that has stood the test of time. 20 good years. And if Raila was still around, the party would still be revving strongly. So Winnie is fighting to preserve that which the father has left behind, even when forces of nature tell us that it should be time to wrap up what is left and sing of a beautiful party that was and move on, because parties in Kenya have a history of dying immediately the founder dies. They either die with the founder or die with his accession to presidency. Because the latter never happened, Winnie is trying to stop ODM from going down the famous route that all the other parties have followed. That once ukikata mti mkuu ndege waangamia. She's trying to make sure that the birds that benefited from this tree hawataangamia, because she's going to step in. The danger with that is that now there is the old order. The wazes who feel she's too young to take the baton. Luckily for her, you could tell the language was similar to that of Babu Owino, Sifuna. She has, in my opinion, she has strong soldiers by her side who will ensure that she rises to the throne.
What is your opinion? Because now, if it's about defying the world order and age, she's a member of parliament.
She is.
And, you know, running ODM requires a lot of the software and the hardware itself. And the main body here is the Orange Party, and the orange as a fruit, loosely put. But then now, you've correctly put it that she knows the dad, and she knows how Raila Odinga used to run the party. Certain people might not be so comfortable with her running the party. You know, for a reason or two. But what do you think?
Parties are run, or how famous a party is depends on how closely the party listens to the people. And how closely is the party leader aligned with the aspirations of the people he or she seeks to lead. Now, those who remain loyal to ODM know very well that ODM is a fighter for democracy. They also know that for the years ODM has been in existence, quite a number of those years, the current regime has been very hard on ODM. They are not friends of ODM. Now, those purporting to be friends of the current regime and trying to drag ODM into it will find it very rough. But then it depends. What does the people, or what does the people of Nyanza want? Do they want to remain in broad-based government? Do they want to go back to agitating for rights and democracy as ODM has always done? And who will be able to sing the song in the people's mind?
Just leave it at that. Prof, can you answer that question? Who will...
you know, I like the way Sam has put it. There are a number of things that we have observed over the last few weeks since Baba left. Number one, of course, we did expect that there was going to be a big challenge in sort of keeping people together within the party, because Baba Raila Odinga was the gel that kept all these people together. And what Baba said was law in any conversation that took place in this country. And that is why he remains and remained the most respected politician and leader in this country, and was able to sustain the foundation of ODM since 2005, more than any other party that we've ever seen in this country, post multipartyism. Now, we have seen, we did see what happened in Mombasa. We did see, the different functions which we have seen over the last several days of a younger generation that is more abrasive, more ambitious, and wants to take the party to the next level. But there's also the more experienced and, in quotes, the old order that, the leaders that were paraded there, party leaders, deputy party leaders, and so on and so forth, would sort of want to continue doing what Raila Odinga was doing for the party. For this process, of transformation to be successful, my own proposal is that, of course, you cannot change things instantly. You need to do it progressively.
Yes.
You need to start bringing in these young leaders in the party to serious positions, because there must be intergenerational change if ODM is to stand for the next 20 years. Now, there are those people who are saying that, we are in broad-based. There are those who are saying that they are not in broad-based.
Yes.
At the end of the day, we know that there's a document that was signed. And I think I like Sifuna because he refers to that document, that it was publicly signed with a 10-point agenda of what they should do together with government, so that the engagement is sustained until 2027. There are those, of course, who will say that it was about Baba. It was not about everybody else.
Yeah.
But, as a government, William Ruto is keen in ensuring a few things. Number one, ensuring that he works with ODM until 2027 and beyond, because you can see the conversation that is taking place. Number two is that if ODM weakens, the rest of the other parties out there, and especially UDA and the party that is around the president, and of course the other parties, with the united opposition, will gain, because any fall in numbers, any fall in commitment of ODM sort of dyads means that they are going to fall over to other people.
All right, I forgot something.
And finally, even before you come in with that something, is that, I like the way some says that, no, we are not there. Because I understand that, as he put it very clearly, that he was part and parcel of the technical team that was driving the agenda of Azimio.
Yes.
And I'm happy because I'm sitting next to him, because I was now on the other side of the technical team of Kenya Kwanza that was crafting everything that the president of our president is implementing today. Now, we need to have a conversation and agree on what are the truths and what are the lies that are being peddled around by people who want to show us that they know far much better what Baba wants, and they understand far much better where the government of Kenya is heading to.
Okay. What do you have on the front page of the Star, before I forget?
Cheap imports killing Kenya's Juakali sector.
All right.
I think that's the main title. China is the main source of imports into the country. Yeah, certainly I think there's a challenge that we are facing as a country.
Okay.
Why this is the case is because of the weak industrial base that we have in this country. Because of the cost of production. Our cost of production locally and the quality of what we produce is low. I mean, the cost is high, the quality is low, and the imports that we're getting outside the country are far much of better quality and cheaper. Yeah. And they fit with they address the needs that we have as a country. Now, this is a challenge, and it is something that we've discussed here several times. Exactly. That this country cannot move forward if we are not able to produce. We cannot live, pretend to be working towards competing with the best of the world, or these other countries up there, if we are only consumers. We sit here and consume what we don't produce. Yeah, instead of producing for ourselves.
We depend more on
correct. And this is what the president has been saying, that we cannot produce for ourselves because we don't have enough energy. The energy that Kenya produces is only 2,300 megawatts, which is a small fraction of what a city in an advanced country produces and consumes. He made a fun when he was in Qatar, saying that he was in the US during his official visit when Biden was the president, said that they were there, Kimbelembele, talking about, setting up data centers for artificial intelligence. And then he was told that, one data center consumes 1,000 megawatts, which then means that if we went forward with that agenda, it means that we are going to switch off 50% of the country to power one data center in this country. Now, that is where we're moving to. All this, industries that we're talking about, all these juakalis now that we're talking about, will have to move to that level of utilizing technology, especially AI, to produce what the Kenyans will need, not just today, but in the future. Now, for that to happen, we need to do what he has said, and I saw that he has it also on the first page of the Star. One, of course, is energy. 1.5 trillion shillings is required so that we can produce 10,000 megawatts of energy, so that now we can power the industrial base of this country, especially the Juakali, so that now we can also move forward to exporting to the region and importing less from China and the UAE. Number two is the infrastructure fund, which I saw another 1.5 trillion shillings. Because once you produce energy and once you build your bases, then you need to set up quality or state-of-the-art infrastructure, which then will be allow us to move our produce or our products, from one point to the other point. Today, as I said, it was in Makwene. There is one road that we have talked about. Since I was born, it was started. It was forgotten, it was started again, 2 kilometers, and then that was it. We had a conversation and said that if we are going to talk about moving Kenya to the level of a first world country, then we cannot keep on talking about a Mali-Ukia road in Makueni County. You need to ensure that you allocate funds for this road so that by 2027, that road is done. It connects Makueni, Kajiado, Kitui, and Machakos. You see? Now he sat down there and said, let me commit 20 kilometers now. I'll commit the other 23 kilometers in the next budget cycle. Now, that is what is going to ensure that we do not just keep on importing cheap products from outside the country, but that will enable us build our Juakali sector and our industries around what we need as a country and around what we can export to the region, Eastern African region, but also to Africa.
Okay, let's come back. Is the Orange Party, or is the orange ripe, sour, or sweet? Sam, based on what happened, was it an anticlimax of what we saw in Mombasa? And the question that I want to ask all of you, the question is the orange ripe, sour, or sweet?
Bittersweet. It's a mixture of both.
Okay.
Let me explain.
Go ahead.
What we had over the weekend will be one of two things. A very glamorous burial of ODM or a rebirth of ODM. The leaders will decide what it is. It was clear that they are not reading from the same script. A party will always have its internal differences. But these differences must not grow to a point of breaking it. Now, the visible differences will either build the party, because what doesn't kill you builds you, or it will kill the party. In this sense, can they find a common ground on which to operate? The party will be reborn and will continue growing. For now, they have an advantage of having a sage-like leader in the name of Oburu Odinga. Very wise, in my opinion. He knows how to quell the fire, and he knows how to punch where necessary. If he realizes that you are becoming too much, he does not hit you with a velvet. He does it bare knuckle. You remember what he told those who've already been appointed by the government? He told them, hey, hold on, you are not even members of ODM. You resigned before you joined your cabinet positions. So could you speak for your boss and let the party speak for itself? You need a leader who can do that. And the younger ones must know that old leaders may not be able to run, but in their walking, they'll cover a longer distance than the running younger ones, because in running, you are likely to stumble and fall. So they must let Oburu Odinga to lead the party the best way he knows how. If they must correct him, they must do so with realization that the party could not have fallen in the best or in a better hands, because Raila Odinga is an elder brother to the fallen great man. And if you listen to Oburu Odinga, you will, in my opinion, get a feeling that Raila Odinga used to consult the old man so much.
Yes.
Because the language is more or less the same, only that, in my opinion, Oburu Odinga is more candid. He does not leave you guessing. Raila Odinga had a way of operating where he does not hit you.
That's why he's called a guambo.
And he does that. By the way,
Yeah.
that is why they call him Enigma.
Exactly.
You had to interpret, not to read. He always made sure that he was walking in between lines. So it was you to tell where he was. Unfortunately, if you misread him, that was your end politically. But Oburu seems to be more candid. Oburu seems to call white, white, black, black, and he has no grays. So, in my opinion, he's reading the party in the right direction. Now, what must be, the party must be protected from the parasites who've always relied on the party for growth. Because when a tree falls, parasites jumps very fast to a living one for their survival. And they're the ones you hear speaking like they are more UDA than they are all of ODM. We were left in broad-based government. Nobody can get us out here because they have gotten a new hosts. Now, the danger with that is that now their loyalty is no longer to the great man who just left us.
Yes.
They have shifted their loyalty very fast because they're about survival.
That begs the question of loyalty to the party or to the party leader.
Now, fidelity must be to the party,
Yes.
ODM. But fidelity, again, must be to the leader. Because you can't claim to be loyal to a party and you are not loyal to the leader.
But where's the confusion coming from? I mean, Prof, based on even from what we saw, because it was, people would say that it's a democratic party. I mean, everybody would want to say whatever they wanted. But something that came out is that they had their own opinion from whichever angle you look at it, and that actually opened up to say that it was Raila Odinga who was actually controlling the voices, that however much they wanted to speak, but there was a central point of communication that you, Prof, you want to speak, but you think of Raila Odinga has not spoken. What is he going to say? But right now it's free for all.
No, I just want to go back to what my fellow panelists have said. Fidelity should be to the party. In an ideal situation, that should be the case. But parties in Kenya operate differently. Instead of having that fidelity with the party, to which you are a member of, our fidelity is with the party leader. You see, because the party leader is the party, but the party is not the party leader. So the party leader will determine how far you can go within the ranks in that party. And so, like in my case, if you go to Kambani, it is about Kalonzo Musyoka and then Wiper. So you must support Kalonzo Musyoka first, not the party. You see? Which is why most of these parties die. Because instead of keeping your fidelity with the party, which can live with us for many years, now you focus on that leader who is going to say, Sam, Tosha. And then, when that Sam Tosha is not there, Sam, even with that fidelity in the party, vanishes, and that's it. And so the challenge to that we face is the way our parties are run. However, I want to go back to the parasitic problem that we have. You see, parties and politics are about personal interest. In this country, it is not about what you're going to do to the people. That is what you tell the people. But in boardrooms where he sat when they were crafting this as bill, it was about he must win, not he must deliver to the people. And I've seen this. I've seen it in my own party, where it is about first winning and then thinking about the people. You see? So what we are looking at now is there are two possibilities about ODM. That ODM is going to survive or ODM is going to weaken or die.
Based on the party or the leader? Because there's something you put there.
No, based on the party, because now the party are the people. And the people are fighting.
What about the leader?
The leader
now there's a big question.
The leader that we have today. You see, the beauty of what we have had before, before Baba left, is that you had a father figure who was respected across, and what he said was final. And people across knew that there was Baba Raila Amolo Odinga. If you go to Kambani, we knew. When he landed, we knew that man. You see? Just like we know Kalonzo Musyoka. Okay? Now, with new faces, there's that disconnection. There's a disconnect between what people are used to and what we have up there. Although we know that Oburu was the architect behind all the successes, or most of the successes that his brother achieved in this party.
Yeah.
He was consulted. He was actually the technical brain behind whatever happened out there. And that is why he is more bare knuckle. He tells you as it is, because he is a technical person more than being a politician. Now, Raila is a father, was a father, and he would massage the egos of all of us. He will confuse everybody. And perhaps that is why when you start in those boardrooms, he will tell everybody their own story based on what he believed will fit them most. And this confusion that we see around is that he told everybody something different. You know, he told me something. He told the other person something.
Yeah.
You know,
Yes.
he will tell you, as my brother did say, he will sit down and tell you the history of Mount Kenya people. The way he told it, nobody else in this country would do that. If he came to Ukambani, he would tell you about all those people who were there in the 1940s, our historical sort of development and trends, something that we Kambas could not even articulate, you know. Now that connecting with people is something that we're going to miss, because that's about a person. It is not about the party itself.
I mean,
but now finally,
yes,
that part of ODM weakening is an opportunity for other parties. You know, like now Kenya Kwanza, when you listen to some of the politicians, they have come out there and they're saying that now it is not bittersweet, maybe. It is one slice at a time. And that one slice is going to be consumed by someone else. I don't know how many slices are going to come out, but we are ready to consume as many of these slices as possible before we get to 2027.
Okay. I mean, when you look at how leaders were speaking there, again, it was either they wanted to push an agenda of the party or an agenda of an individual. Sam, what would you pick from there?
Right. There were those who feel that ODM needs time to rebuild, to recover from the loss, and take time and rebuild. There are those who feel we are already somewhere.
So we are okay.
Even in our rebuilding, we should first of all.
But do they really care who is going to be the party leader? Or their main concern is ODM is
and that is why I said,
yeah,
ODM must be more wary of the enemies within than the enemies without. And unfortunately, the enemies within are not enemies because they hate ODM. They are the most beneficiaries of ODM. But then in that benefiting, it has taken them to the highest positions one could think of in politics. And now, as Prof says, part of politics is preservation of self-interest. Self-interest is, for somebody who's been appointed a CS, self-interest is to remain a CS. And hopefully even after 2027. Yeah. Now, any decision that is made that might jeopardize that position is a decision that this person is bound to resist. Not because he has any intentions to kill the party, but because of self-preservation. Now, those are enemies who are friends. Enemies in the sense that in preservation of self, they might hurt the party. But then the party must strategize again with realization that these are part and parcel of the party. People like Bandi are as old as ODM and are as important as the party itself because they have been at the helm of that party for a very long time. So then they won't be scheming out of hatred, they would be scheming out of preservations and the thought of what is right for the people. Because again, the argument makes a lot of sense, though not necessarily the best. Why should you leave the government to go and fight to form a government?
Yeah.
Doesn't make any sense. But then some stupid political processes are important for growth. Because if you stay at a place where your people might not like it, then you risk you risk death of the party.
Yeah.
So then, if ODM must live beyond where Raila Odinga has left it, it needs somebody who can listen to all the voices, and as Prof is saying, and bring all of them together and have a final word on it and tell them, hey, you are put there by Baba.
Okay.
You are not put there by mistake. You did not betray us to get those positions you have. Baba gifted you the positions.
Okay.
So we understand. But then as a party, we have to do this. Now, harmonization of all those voices is what will preserve the party. And that is why, in my opinion, the younger ones must know they will not get a better leader than Oburu Odinga.
Let's do this. Because you're talking about orange. I don't know whether orange and tea can mix. I don't know how it will taste. But let's try.
Why don't we try?
Let's try. That's called for a tea break. We'll be right back. All right, welcome back. It's now time. Wait, I don't know. Prof, can we mix tea and orange? Let's just test out. I don't know.
I think some had proposed that we do lemon, but
we do lemon.
I think it's bittersweet, so lemon and orange. So we're fine.
We'll try that concoction.
Doing fine.
We'll do that. Great. Welcome back. Now, I want us to listen to what happened in Mombasa briefly before we continue with this conversation. Director, press play.
Gladys Wanga, chairman. Simba Arati, deputy party leader. Otsosi, deputy party leader. And my governor, Abdul Swamad, deputy party leader. You are in leadership today. Ongezeni chama iende mbele, musitishwe na kila mtu ongee kwa chama hapa.
At a youth side event, East African Legislative Assembly MP Winnie Odinga warned that ODM is not for sale.
Nasikia kuna wengine ambao wanatembea nasi mchana lakini usiku wanajaribu kuuza hii chama. Haiwezekani. ODM was not born in a bedroom. It was not made in a bedroom. So its future will not be discussed as pillow talk.
A section of members, led by Siaya Governor James Orengo and Secretary General Edwin Sifuna, has been accused of attempting to herd the party out of the broad-based government.
Raila was so clever that he did not leave us just to be in the broad base. He wanted us to be the voice of the people, and that is why ODM is leading the forces within the National Assembly.
Wengi wanasema mambo ambaye waliambiwa na baba wakiwa peke yao. Kila mtu anasema hiyo, na najua hatuwezi kusikizana ni nini baba alituambia tukiwa peke yetu, na situfuate ile alisema tukiwa wote basi. Kama kitu ni mbaya, baba alikuwa anasema ni mbaya. Na kama nyinyi ndio chama cha wananchi hawezi kuumia alafu nyinyi mnasema mambo iko sawa. Haiwezekani.
And we loved him because he accommodated us. He listened to our views. He respected us. He listened to every issue we had. Ndio tukampenda. So you cannot force us to love someone. You cannot force us to love someone. Uweza kulazimisha umpenze mtu wewe.
Nikiguza kidogo ile SG amesema na ile Winnie amesema. Sisi kama ODM, sisi hapana chama ya serikali. Sisi hapana chama. We are not a government party. We are an opposition party.
Sam, yes. Go ahead.
ODM should not be an opposition party. Why should a party be opposition party? The essence of party is acquisition of power. That is why people meet, they form a party. Because at the core of it, the main agenda is to acquire power. So then anybody who condemns ODM to a party that must keep fighting for power that never comes, because that is what is opposition, then that person is wrong. I don't even think that was why Baba Raila Odinga has kept ODM moving for 20 years. ODM, surprisingly, or if I were to digress a bit, ODM had conjured a formula of getting power. It had what we call hybrid coups. You know, if ODM did not get power through the ballot, it had a way of getting power through hybrid coups. Now, hybrid coup d'etat is where you make it people-driven, bloodless, but equally effective. So once you don't get power, the first thing you do is you tell people your power has been stolen. Then you tell people, because court can't get us our power, then let's go and get it ourselves. And by so doing, Raila Odinga was able to cajole Kibaki to share government with him. He was able to do that with Uhuru. He was able to do that with Ruto. So then ODM was fighting as best as it could to walk out of the political cold that is called opposition. And Ososi is wrong. ODM is not an opposition
It's not a opposition party.
But it might fight for the human rights and democracy of the nation.
Yes.
But that does not condemn it to be an opposition
What do you make,
party.
this all of you, what do you make of Winnie's assertion that some people are walking during the day and at night they walk different walks altogether?
This is
they
what I
want to
think.
sell the party. I mean, that was Winnie.
This is what I think. By joining with Uhuru Kenyatta,
Yes.
it was safe because they did it in his second term. The man did not have ambitions past 2022. The only thing he wanted was, out of being grateful, he wanted to make Raila Odinga the president. But then by joining Ruto in his first term, that was a mistake as much as it has benefited the party. Because William Ruto has plans past 2027 and ODM is in the core of his plans. Now, having lost the mountain, because I can tell you like days from night, William Ruto has lost the mountain. Take it to the bank. That the moment the mountain shifts, it doesn't come back. He's lost it. The only other hope is ODM. Because ODM is a juggernaut that comes with around 7 million votes. But then, in his scheming, William Ruto might become the spider that was caught in its own cobweb. He forgets that Raila Odinga had 2 million votes from home, but he was this very great politician who knew how to go and borrow votes from neighbors. So he used to take his 2, then he would walk into Western, borrow almost 1 million, walk into Kambani and tell Kalonzo, could you lend me like 1.5 million votes? He would pass by the Kisii neighbors and borrow a few. So Raila Odinga was a man not built at home like it happens in Mount Kenya. Mount Kenya, you don't need to go out and borrow. You have a juggernaut in the mountain that has closer to 7 million votes. You just measure it and you tell others, bring whatever you have to bring. Now with Odinga, he had mastered the art of going out to get these votes. Will whoever is trying to buy the party in the night, because you know who it is?
I don't know.
Me, I can tell you who it is because it is not Gachagua.
I have no idea.
Can tell you who it is. I can only tell you who it is not. It is not Gachagua, it is not Kalonzo. So then, I leave you to guess who it is that is buying the party in the night.
I'm a prof, you are working on some blank check somewhere.
Mi naandika tu naangalia tu.
So then, so whoever is buying the party in the night, and if you hear Winnie talk about him, he is there. What he should do is to buy the party in the day.
Okay. Let's get from buy the party
in the day.
In the day.
Openly by negotiating with clean hands. He's a founder member, though he's like a man who left home when kids were young and he's been mudslinging the mother all along, then comes back when the sons are successful. It will be very difficult to be accepted back home.
Wow.
But anyway, he can try. It may work.
But legitimately, he's still the parent, anyway, biologically speaking.
Yes.
No, you know,
a little bit further.
I'm just looking at, looking at what he has said. One,
yes,
Winnie gave a very good speech. I think to me that is what we would like to see from the younger generation. That he was articulate. She put it on the table on exactly what we need to do, or ODM needs to do. Not to get swallowed or to get lost in the fray of a political process in this country. And I think that is now the voice of the younger generation. And generally, as you look at that, we want to move fast because we're in 2025. 2026 is coming in 2 months. And people are getting worried that when you look ahead, there's only 1 year in between the election year. And you see, if you had much time, then you would start, we'd have, the teams inside ODM, both the older generation and the emerging leaders would now have been given time to sit together. You see? Because Oburu is a very good leader, he's very sharp, and he has the experience to run the party. But then in this other mix, you need also to bring in these younger men and women so that they can take key positions, so that there is that, intergenerational movement of leaders. Once one exits, we do not sort of have the void that we would otherwise expect in other parties.
Could you see the balance, just a minute, could you see the balance between Oburu and Winnie? Because when Oburu spoke, he said, we are going to sort that one out, kinyumbani, okay? And you can easily see the difference between the late Raila Odinga and Oburu Odinga. One is hard-hitting, another one was so tactical that it was even not possible to read his mind or that card that he kept.
I think so many people underestimated the power and capacity of Oburu. Over until he went on TV and talked to the people. I think that was the first time I saw people saying that, oh, this man is a very sharp and experienced politician. He must have been the power behind the successes that we've seen with the ODM. You see? And that is now being exhibited in every engagement that he is undertaking, including what happened in Mombasa. You see, he has experience. He knows, just as much as Winnie knows, he has been far longer with Baba than anyone else. And most of the key decisions that have been made within the party, they were first, either they were started by the two, or they were approved by the two, behind the curtains. Even this handshake, the handshakes that we talk about, especially this one of 2024 and the other one of 2018, the guy behind that power, although Winnie was, around, was because of the capacity that Oburu has had over those years. And that is the difference. Because he has experience, he knows when to hit, he knows what to say, and he says it without fear. Now, the younger generation, and Winnie being one of them, Winnie understands what the father would have wanted the party, to the direction the party should take. However, the experience that is required to drive a party the size of ODM is not with the younger generation. That's why I said it is important for progressive inclusion of these young leaders into the higher echelon of this party. So that we look ahead and say that no, we have done 20 years, let us look ahead 20 years later. Now that 20 years later is not going to be Oburu Odinga. It's now going to be these other young leaders that we have in there. And that is why it is important. If you listen to what Babu said, he said that I know I'm going to be excluded because he has divergent views that are not aligned with the traditional way that most of these guys who have personal interests, they are preserving the interests, have.
Let me repeat what Governor James Orengo said. Who needs the other? President Ruto needs ODM, or ODM needs President Ruto? Sam?
Both. You see, what they have is symbiotic. But then, let me go back a little bit and say, if you listened to Raila Odinga in his last days, there is a time he explained very well why he joined the government. I think he was trying to answer the agitated young people who hated him all of a sudden. When they went into demonstrations, they told him, in fact, they called him grandfather. You fought for us for so long. Now rest. We shall pick it from here and fight. In their opinion, they were betrayed by the man they respected most. But then Raila Odinga, in my opinion, felt like he needed to answer them. Unfortunately, they didn't listen to him. He said he had intel that we were getting very close to army takeover. But then Raila Odinga is a politician with experience of 40 years. He has seen countries fall, and he knows that there is no country has ever come back from a military takeover. You check history.
It's always rough.
The younger people may never know this, that even some of very stable economies of yesteryears are today crumbling on the weight of military takeover. Sudan, for instance, Libya, Egypt, and all the others, Tunisia, these are countries barely moving on because of the weight of military takeover. So Baba said that the moment he knew we were getting so close to military takeover, he couldn't allow Kenya go down that line of trial and error.
Yeah.
So he said, okay, we shall shake the hands, not of our friends, but for the sake of nation, we shall form a coalition with them. Then that explains why Winnie and the younger generations feel Baba was not in this thing out of love. He was in it out of love for the nation, not out of love for the people with whom they formed the government. And since the storm has quieted, maybe they feel it is time for us to get out of this thing that was born out of necessity to save the people, not to save the sinking ship that is UDA. Now, having said so, there is now the older generation that again knows the people represented by ODM, largely from the Luo land, and the other friends with whom they form coalitions, aren't condemned to stay in the cold, because national government will always have a budget of about 4 trillion, and only 10% of it will go to devolution. So around 3.6 trillion will be used by the national government. A huge budget of it is on development expenditure that the national government decides who to eat depending on who you support. So then there is feeling among the older and wiser that we can also stay here and benefit. We eat development like other people are eating development.
So that's why ODM needs Ruto.
No, that is why ODM needs the wisdom of the old and the energy of the young. The energy of the young is, out of impetuosity. And by the way, it is also selfish in nature for Winnie and the others, because if they take it back to the war, then who are the people built out of war? They are the soldiers. They are the ones who rise to become generals. So the only takeover that can happen among the younger is to go back to the war, lead the war, and take the party.
But is the president so quick to take the party? Who needs, according to Orengo, the party or the president?
Well, I will still go to what he has said, that both needs each other. And one thing which is very important for all of us to note is that parties are not formed to stay in the cold. You form a party to lead the country or the county or whichever level you form it for. You don't form it because you want to be in the position. So it's important, one, that what we've seen over the last several election cycles is that because there's always a winner and there's always a number two, the number two has always realized that it's important to tap from the opportunities that are with the government, at the national level. And that is why in many cases we say in our community that every handshake that has ever happened took resources and development to Luo Nyanza. Sisi tunaumia, because we are part of that basket of opposition. You see? But every handshake that happened took resources down there. So my region, which has worked, in this journey together with Baba, has always been left behind. Because then, as Baba, had those handshakes, now Kalonzo would step back and say that he doesn't want to be part of that. And that is why when a road was being made in Kisumu, in Ukambani, we were just seeing dust. And that's quite unfortunate, you see? And so I would also want to go back to what William Ruto has said over the last several appearances. One is that he's the one who approached Baba, Raila Amolo Odinga. When things were almost going south, he called upon Baba to come and work with him and support him to save the country. And Baba looked at two things. One is love of the country. If we ever go down the military way, then as a country would have been finished. Number two, he also pointed out that if we kicked out William Ruto, then the second person before you go to army was Gachagua. And to them, the team on the other side, he was not even a better. He was no better. When you put them together, he said no. Then better this animal that than the animal that you don't know.
Yeah.
Now, all of a sudden, of course, and I say this with all due respect,
Right.
because I've worked with Gashek also, worked very closely when he was GP, and of course in UDA formative stages. Well, he's a very good politician, but he is not one of the most liked persons that people would want to make him the president.
Yeah.
But he's very good at mobilizing. In fact, now he comes out as the other next person, outside Raila, who can put people together and tell them stories and let them listen. Raila was just there. People would just come and listen.
And
he
you
never.
think he's enjoying the instability in the party, the feuds, the fire within the party?
But you see, when you look at all the information that we have, it was only Raila Odinga who would go to a place without mobilizing.
So what
and people would come to that meeting.
What do you think is the tactic the president is playing now?
Now, I think one of the most important things that I want people to know is that you can never underestimate William Ruto. If you look at his journey from 1992 to today, that, he has gone through some of the hardest political times in this country, including recently the BBI, when you saw what happened at the Bomas of Kenya. You see, and of course he ran against a system that was well established. Only that the technical team on this side, I don't know what happened, because I think they would have done a better job. But wanasema tuliibia, hatukufanya hivyo. We did our part, but things have to happen in the way they happened for us to see what happens after that. Now, as a president, because we engage once in a while, he knows when to press the button, how to press it, and what would happen after that. You see, he is down there with the ODM. He was there in Mombasa, and if you listen carefully, even before, when Baba passed on, he said that they had even agreed. He was ready. Well, this might be politics, to even to step aside and give Baba the mantle to run as the president. No, he said that. I'm just saying what he said. And number two, he even agreed with what ODM is saying, that they either form the government or be part of the government. He's with them on that one.
Yeah.
The point is that being in government still makes him, and this is what we believe now, as now this wing of the system, that we are working towards making him the president, from 2027 to 2022, in which ODM is going to be part and parcel, so that they continue driving the agenda of this country to the next level.
All right. So, Sam,
Yes.
the president perhaps is playing that card of gather them and scatter them, but he's not the one scattering them. Is he waiting for them to scatter completely until they lose direction, until they lose focus, and then he says, hello, I'm here, I want to gather you, and I'm going to gather you properly. Kujeni niwapange.
The president is the proverbial cat in the chicken pen.
Whoa.
So he is the one doing this scattering. And this is why I say so. Now, you see, we've praised the president for so long. The danger with that is that you never see the sucker punch come, because your ego has been bloated. Everybody has told you you've got no enemy. Your opponent is a man you're going to cut down to size in the morning. But then, even the best of generals will always have their battle of the Waterloo.
Yeah.
That day will always come, when even the best faces defeat. William Ruto is about to face his defeat, and it will happen because of his over-scheming. Sometimes, you just have to court power. Power is like a beautiful lady, so they say. You spend too much with it, it runs away because you suffocate it. Sometimes you just have to play coy, soft, pretend you don't want it so much for it to develop interest. But then Ruto is at a position where he's desperate for the first time. Just look at his numbers.
Is he?
He is very desperate. He may pretend he is not.
Sam, what are you talking about?
No. He may pretend he is not. He may make faces, but trust you me. Being the smart politician he is, because even his enemies cannot accuse him of not being smart, he knows very well that the noose around his neck is tightening. Now, the danger with that is that you start acting recklessly in your bid to save yourself. Think of it this way. People will praise Ruto, he beat the system. Ruto survived with 200,000 votes. 200,000 votes. He beat Odinga with 200,000 votes only. He did not carry the day with 60-40. It was, the ones we say, it was a slight escape from death. Ile tu napita gari inapita. Otherwise Odinga would have been the president today. Well, our team may not have done what it ought to have been done. You can't keep blaming other teams. But let me put it this way. Think of it this way, and this is where the problems in ODM is coming from. In my opinion, Ruto is desperate enough that he's toying around with the idea of recapturing power through ODM as its presidential candidate, because Ruto is seeking to own the house. And that is why Winnie is complaining that there is somebody meeting people in the night, giving offers to buy the house. And you know why he's doing it? He is still convinced that this house, once he buys it, it comes with about 7 million votes. And this is where he goes wrong again. Because out of the 7 million votes is around 2 million votes that Kalonzo has taken away. Out of the same votes he's talking about is the same votes that Matiang'i has taken away from the Kisis. The same votes he thinks ODM comes with is the same vote that Natembeya is working all
I have
night.
no idea why the guillotine falls on you.
Yes.
Every time I want to take a break. I have no idea. I really have no idea.
Shall come back.
I really have no idea. Let's take a quick break and we come back. I want to give you 2 minutes each. This is interesting. I mean, we wrap it up. Okay?
Right.
Just 1 minute break. Stay with us. Very good. So let me start, Sam. The guillotine fell on you. Let me give you 2 minutes.
Yes.
So which way? The party is over. So do we have more party going forward for ODM?
The best way forward for ODM is to figure it out how they are going to either get out of broad-based or stay in broad-based. But what is most important for them is to remain relevant. They have a chance to know also that if ODM going forward must remain as strong as it is time they start considering the neighbors who've always joined them in fighting the battle into serious positions of leadership. If they insist or continue insisting that ODM must remain in the hand of a person from Nyanza, then they might as well reduce it to a Nyanza party. If it must remain national, then it is time to ask themselves a question. After being at home for 20 years, is it time to hand it over to friends who are also neighbors to take the helm of the party and see whether they would grow it more and more outside home? If they don't do so, then they risk being, past 2027, they risk reducing it to a Nyanza party, which will be bad for them. In the meantime, also, they also have to consider, among, like Oburu Odinga said, that in 2027 they will consider all the suitors. It doesn't have to be William Ruto. It can be as well be Kalonzo, the man who's been with Baba for the longest, fighting battles by his side. And if I were to advise them, I would tell them to cross that bridge very fast, join hands with Kalonzo, send William Ruto home, send him thinking for another 5 years whether what he's doing with this country is what should be happening.
Okay. Prof. This is interesting.
You know, relevance is the most important thing.
Yes.
And you know, the beauty of this conversation is that I'm sitting with a core ODM, a player. And I come in good faith, just to say that in the next 1 year, a lot of things are going to happen. And because of these internal sort of wrangles that we are seeing openly, we would, of course, given the history of ODM and being one of the, biggest party in the country, we would want it to survive longer. But unless they put their house in order, certainly we are going to see a weakened ODM, and come 2027, February, ODM might not be the major sweeter in the process if they do not sort of put themselves together.
Yeah.
Now, to me, the most important thing is that, the guys on the other side of the opposition are dealing with a formidable force of William Ruto. William Ruto is not just a man or a president. He's a guy who has, defied all odds to become the person he is. To me, even now, if he's not the president in 2027, I don't think it will be anything. I mean, because he's already become the president, and he's progressively grown from 1992 to the person he is today. If you go back to 2022, and I think this is exactly what is going to happen in 2027, we messed up the internal arrangements of Azimio by taking a few guys here and there to bring about the national outlook that we had. His Excellency Mudavadi, the speaker, and this is exactly the problem that we have in our political processes. Because then, to weaken it, and that is why I like what he said, that we, UDA, are the ones who are creating all these, problems out there. Because if you do not do that, then the target that we have for 2027 may not be realized. And for us, it is to get the best of the best from the groups that are out there. In ODM, we are watching all these guys, and we know, there are these very strong guys who can give us the numbers that we want. We will go for them, because also, given that the mountain is gone, as he puts it, although we are going to try to see whether we can get what Baba got in 2022, we hope so. Fingers crossed. The point here is that I think, for me, moving forward, parties should be defined by what they bring to the people. It should not be about my personal interest or my preservation of what I have at the moment. Because now what you see today is because people are fighting for their own survival. Let us fight for the survival of political parties so that they can drive the agenda of this country. So that now the conversations that we have, which I think is agreeable to all of us, Kenya should not be where it is, where we always talk about Singapore, we talk about Korea, we were there at the same level. We should now be having this conversation. How fast do we get to being a first world country? Whether you are on this side or on the other side, I think this should be a common conversation in this country. So that at least in our lifetime, we can see a Kenya that is in this continent, that is at the top, driving the agenda of this continent, but also competing with the best of the best, globally. That cannot be done if we have proper governance. And this is something that William Ruto says. He has said it properly. Why we are where we are is because we have not had ideal governance systems in this country. Now that governance process is what he's been working towards to ensure that we drive Kenya, industrialization, modernization, and of course stop this dumping of products from outside the country, and of course become a net exporter of our own innovations to other countries. So that at least we can also become a power, like Israel, a small country out there, or even Japan, which is an island, or even these small countries that we're talking about, like South Korea, whose birth rate is one of the lowest, but they now drive the globe in terms of newest technologies in the area of air and so on and so forth.
Okay. There's a question somebody is asking here. Perhaps it was just, the president also talked about it, that he wore the orange cap and the UDA color to mix. And that was to say that, my members will still want to know that I'm a member of UDA. And as a founding member of ODM, I had to wear that cap.
No, alikuwa nimetoka Ukambani. He flew all the way from Kitui. And the yellow is a Kamba color. He was, so please. And he said it, no, I have just left Kitui for a meeting with the grassroots leaders in Kitui. So please, sort of understand that I am wearing the Kamba color, but just to show that I'm with you.
The president is a politician, so probably that attire was worn in the morning with a message late in the evening for dinner.
No, we are looking forward to, this is why he did that. The president is keen in working with ODM. And so the formation, if it works, because we have all this on the table, is that in 2027, ODM and UDA are going to be in one coalition to drive the agenda of the country.
I wanted to ask this question. Cherargei said that there is no position for negotiation.
No, Cherargei is not the party. Cherargei is a politician.
He said ODM should think of something else. I don't want to open this. Sam, thank you so much. Asante sana for coming. Sam,
I thought you were extending the debate.
Director tuendelee. Okay, so I'm told that we need to wrap it up. Thank you so much, gentlemen, for coming to the show. It has been 1 hour. I mean, Sam, unataka tuendelee? No, time is up. We need to cross over to Kisumu and have another discussion with Simon Achola taking charge of that. Asante sana, Professor, for coming to the show.
Thank you.
As well as Sam Kimani, who is a public policy analyst. He is a development expert. Asante sana, gentlemen, for coming to the show. All right, so
thank you so much.
See you Kisumu.